Imagine this: a 4-year-old boy, shivering under a relentless Texas rain, digging through a dumpster for scraps of food, with no home, no family nearby, and no hope in sight. How does he go from that rock-bottom despair to becoming a multi-millionaire tech entrepreneur, revolutionizing lives around the world? It's not a fairy tale, it's the real story of Javier Morales, a testament to the American dream. In a land where opportunity knocks for those who refuse to quit, Javier's journey proves that one act of kindness can ignite a fire that burns through every obstacle. But could he really rise from the streets of Brownsville to the skyscrapers of Silicon Valley? Stick around, because this emotional roller coaster will show you how grit, belief, and a single helping hand can turn impossible into "I did it." Keep pushing. Dream big. Let's dive in. Javier Morales was born in a dusty village in Mexico, where the sun baked the earth, and dreams seemed as scarce as rain. At just 4 years old, his family made the perilous trek across the border, chasing whispers of the American dream. They landed in Brownsville, Texas, a border town humming with the sounds of trucks and migrant workers. But for Javier, it was a world of cramped one-room apartments and endless struggle. His father toiled in the fields from dawn to dusk, picking crops under a punishing sun for pennies an hour. His mother scrubbed floors in strangers' homes, her hands raw from bleach and exhaustion. Meals were simple: tortillas warmed over a hot plate, maybe some beans if they were lucky. Javier shared a thin mattress with his siblings, the roof leaking during monsoon season, turning their floor into a muddy puddle. But life in America wasn't the golden ticket they'd imagined. Javier's English was broken, a patchwork of phrases picked up from TV and schoolyard chatter. At school, he was the outsider, the kid with the accent, the hand-me-down clothes that never quite fit. Classmates whispered behind his back, calling him wetback, or worse. Teachers, overwhelmed with overcrowded classrooms, barely noticed him slipping through the cracks. He wanted to learn, to build something better, but survival came first. After school, Javier hustled odd jobs, mowing lawns, washing cars, anything to help his family scrape by. "One day I'll make it," he'd tell himself, staring at the stars from their tiny balcony. But deep down, doubt gnawed at him like hunger. Then, at Shuwu, disaster struck. His father was caught in an immigration raid at the farm, deported back to Mexico in handcuffs. The family shattered. Without his income, bills piled up like storm clouds. Eviction came swiftly. They lost their apartment, scattering their few belongings on the sidewalk. Javier's mother, heartbroken and frail, moved in with distant relatives, but there wasn't room for him. Suddenly, he was alone on the streets of Brownsville, a backpack his only possession. Park benches became his bed, public restrooms his sanctuary. The nights were the worst, cold winds whipping through his thin jacket, the growl of his empty stomach echoing in the silence. He'd scavenge for food behind diners, dodging rats and shame. "Why me?" he'd whisper to the empty night. Society saw him as invisible, a statistic, a problem to ignore. Friends from school drifted away, embarrassed by his plight. Javier felt the weight of the world pressing down, crushing his spirit. The American dream. It felt like a cruel joke, reserved for those born on the right side of luck. Yet, in that darkness, a flicker of resilience burned. He refused to let bitterness consume him. Holding onto a quiet vow: survive today, fight for tomorrow. The challenges hit Javier like a freight train, one after another, testing every ounce of his resolve. First came the raw survival on the streets. Nights blurred into days of endless walking, dodging police who might haul him in for loitering. Hunger was a constant companion, twisting his gut until he could barely think straight. He'd line up at soup kitchens, but the lines were long, and pride made it hard to beg. One evening, he collapsed on a bench, too weak to move, rain soaking him to the bone. "This is it," he thought. "I'm done." But he wasn't yet. School became a battlefield. With no stable home, Javier showed up in rumpled clothes, his homework smudged from sleeping rough. Bullies zeroed in, mocking his accent and poverty. "Go back where you came from," they'd sneer, shoving him in the hallways. Teachers, noticing his declining grades, pulled him aside. "You're smart, Javier, but you need to try harder." How could he explain the exhaustion, the fear? He started skipping classes, working under the table jobs to send money to his mother, washing dishes at a greasy spoon until his fingers pruned, or cleaning yards until blisters formed. Anything to feel useful, but rejection stung everywhere. Job after job turned him away. "Too young. No papers. We don't hire your kind." The prejudice was palpable, a wall he couldn't climb. Then, the deepest cut. Word came that his mother was ill, her body worn down from years of labor. Without insurance, doctor's visits were a luxury they couldn't afford. Javier visited her in a cramped relative's home. Seeing the pain in her eyes, "Mijo, be strong," she'd say, but he felt helpless. Bills mounted, and he considered dropping everything to care for her full-time. Despair crept in like fog nights, where he cried silently, questioning if the American dream was just a myth for people like him. Friends, none left. Community, indifferent. He was adrift, on the verge of breaking. Each setback amplified the last. A failed test at school, a stolen backpack with his few possessions, a brush with danger from street gangs eyeing vulnerable kids. How much more can I take? He'd wonder, fists clenched. The conflicts piled up, pushing him to the edge. Would he shatter, or somehow find a way through? The answer came in the unlikeliest form: a stranger's kindness that would rewrite his fate. Javier's fight back started small, but with a ferocity that grew like wildfire. That fateful rainy night, as he rummaged through the dumpster behind Tom's diner, a burly man in an apron stepped out. Tom Reynolds, the owner and a retired high school coach, didn't yell or chase him away. Instead, he saw the desperation in Javier's eyes and offered a hot meal. "Kid, you look like you've been through hell. Come inside," Tom said gruffly. Javier hesitated, suspicion born from too many letdowns, but hunger won. Inside the warm diner, over a plate of burgers and fries, Tom listened to Javier's story without judgment. "Life's dealt you a bad hand, but it's not over," Tom told him. He offered Javier a part-time job, bussing tables, no questions about papers, just a chance to earn his keep. That job was Javier's lifeline. He showed up early, worked late, scrubbing counters until they shone. Tom noticed his knack for fixing things. A jammed door here, a flickering light there. "You've got hands for building, son," Tom said one day, handing him tools. Javier dove in, teaching himself basic repairs from old manuals in the diner's back room. It sparked something, a curiosity that had lain dormant amid survival mode. But progress wasn't linear. His first fix, a leaky faucet, flooded the kitchen, earning laughs from the staff. Javier wanted to quit, embarrassment burning his cheeks. "Keep pushing," Tom urged. "Failure's just practice." Javier listened, retrying until he got it right. Whoosher attempts on that faucet alone. Encouraged, Tom introduced him to Maria Alvarez, a community college instructor running a robotics club. "This kid's got potential," Tom vouched. Maria, a no-nonsense Latina, who'd bootstrapped her own education, saw Javier's spark. She invited him to sessions, despite his lack of tech background. The club was intimidating. Kids with laptops and gadgets, spouting terms like circuit and algorithm. Javier's English faltered, and his first project, a simple robot arm, short-circuited spectacularly in front of everyone. Laughter echoed. He felt like an imposter. "I'm out," he muttered, packing up. But Maria pulled him aside. "Dream big, Javier. Everyone starts somewhere." That night, he stayed up shower hours, watching online tutorials on a library computer. His eyes bleary, but determined. Over months, Javier's efforts compounded. He balanced diner shifts with club meetings, studying late into the night, hours of self-taught coding in the first month alone. Failures piled up. 7 prototypes exploded, or failed, each one a gut punch. Channan hit hard, during his mother's worsening health. He nearly dropped everything to work full-time. Why bother? He'd think, exhaustion weighing him down. But Tom's words echoed. You're building more than robots. You're building your future. Javier rallied, leading his team to tweak their design, a low-cost prosthetic arm. Small wins came, fixing a club member's code, earning nods from peers. Yet, when his mother was diagnosed with cancer, the world tilted again. Medical bills loomed like mountains. Javier confided in Tom, who didn't hesitate. We'll fight this together. Tom organized community fundraisers, bake sales, car washes, raising enough for initial treatments. Strangers donated, moved by Javier's story. It reignited his fire. If they believe in me, I can't quit. He poured everything into the robotics competition, practicing relentlessly. The highs and lows kept coming, but each setback taught resilience. As the regional event approached, Javier stood taller, ready for whatever came next. Little did he know, victory was just the beginning. The turning point arrived like a bolt from the blue, crystallizing Javier's path forward. At the regional robotics competition, his team's prosthetic arm not only worked, it won first place. Judges praised its innovation, a smartphone-controlled device, affordable for low-income families. As Javier held the trophy, a wave of realization hit. This isn't just a project, it's my purpose. Colleges noticed. The University of Texas at Austin offered a full scholarship for engineering, seeing his grit beyond grades. But the real pivot was internal. Javier's mindset shifted from survivor to visionary. Dream big, Maria had said, and now he believed it. Tom's role was pivotal too. When Javier wavered over his mother's bills, Tom connected him with local philanthropists, securing more aid. You've earned this chance, Tom insisted. That support freed Javier to focus, turning doubt into determination. He enrolled, but with a bold idea, found Access Tech, a startup refining his prosthetic tech. No longer just fixing things, he was creating solutions. This decision, born from kindness and self-belief, unlocked doors he never imagined. Investors might doubt a young immigrant, but Javier's resolve was unbreakable. The step felt terrifying, yet exhilarating. What if he failed? But what if he succeeded? The American dream beckoned, and Javier was ready to chase it full throttle. From that pivotal moment, Javier's transformation unfolded like a phoenix rising. He dove into college life, excelling in classes, while bootstrapping Access Tech in his dorm. Early prototypes drew interest, but scaling up meant pitching to skeptics. Rejection came fast, dozens of no's from venture capitalists who saw only his background, not his brilliance. Yet, Javier refined his pitch, networking at tech meetups. At a San Francisco conference, his demo caught fire. A lightweight prosthetic, helping a volunteer regain mobility. A key investor, moved by his story, poured in $1 million. Access Tech exploded within 3 years. Valuation hit $1 million, with %sambak revenue growth. Products shipped globally, aiding thousands with disabilities. Javier's mother, now in remission, beamed at his TED Talk. From streets to stages, Mijo, pride swelled, gratitude flowed. He honored Tom by mentoring youth, proving anyone can rewrite their story. Javier's journey teaches timeless lessons you can apply today. First, embrace failure as fuel. Each setback sharpened his edge, so turn your nose into growth. Second, seek and give kindness. Tom's hand up changed everything, reminding us community lifts us all. Third, dream big, but start small. Javier's diner fixes led to tech empires. You hold the power. Begin with one step, and watch your world expand. Don't let Javier's story end here. Make it yours. Keep pushing through your storms. The American dream awaits those who persist. Comment DAE below if today sparks your journey, share your struggles, and let's inspire each other. Subscribe for more motivational life stories that prove every underdog can win. Dream big. Your breakthrough is coming.